Hi Sheila, we are back recording a little clip for our next program that we're running, and we thought it might be helpful because we're calling it Loving Your Gut, uncovering health from the inside out. And the Loving Your Gut bit we might talk about in a separate video, but we kind of wanted to unpick a little bit about what we mean about inside out, because it can be taken in a number of different ways, particularly with gut health. When we were talking about the title, we kind of came up with a lot of things that people might take as meaning. So, do you want to kick off, Sheila, with what your sort of thoughts are about what we mean by inside out?
Yeah. Yeah, because inside out, you know, when I was looking for some images yesterday for our new YouTube channel, and you know, inside out, I kind of tapped that in, and what, of course, gut inside out, what comes up is lots of things about diet, nutrition. That's what most people brings to mind, is like, oh, of course, you know, loving your gut, helping it from the inside out. What we put inside is what's going to affect the workings of the system, right? And that makes sense, and of course that absolutely makes sense. However, that's not what we're up to at all. We're not going to be talking to anybody about nutrition, exercise, all the things that people think about when they think about health. What we mean by inside out is I suppose in simple terms, psychology. So how our psychology affects our gut. And so inside out is a term that's used to, in certain circles, and the circles that we're in, inside out is a term that's used to describe the inside out nature of life, that it works from the inside out. And what we mean by that is we are always experiencing what we think. We're never experiencing the outside world directly. Like we can't have a direct experience of anything without it going through the system, without us having a thought about it. And so we're basically creating our own experience moment to moment to moment to moment. That's what we mean by inside out nature, is it's an inside out job. Kind of it's everything is created from the inside out, from our own thoughts, thinking, perceptions, beliefs. Our whole experience is created within through what we call the three principles, which are very simple to remember. The principle of mind, the principle of thought, and the principle of consciousness. Really easy to remember. And then we sort of, perhaps we'll explore those in different videos, I don't know. But that's what inside out is shorthand in a way for the three principles that come together. They're three elements. Sydney Banks, who is the founder of who uncovered these three principles, he talked about them as elements that come together and form a compound of which we can translate as being our experience. So they're elements that are always present. Thought, consciousness, and mind is a word that we can translate into energy, source, whatever however we see what powers this whole experience of life. And the principle of thought is not just thinking, it's actually everything. It's the banner for everything, for thoughts, for perceptions, for beliefs, for concepts, for feelings, for moods, everything. So the power of thought is massive. And the power of consciousness, the principle of consciousness, is what brings everything alive. It's our awareness. So without those three in place, those three pillars, those three principles, we wouldn't be having an experience of life. And that is what we're up to when we're talking about inside out gut health, is we're wanting to help people see how it really works, how our human experience truly works, and that there's nothing to do per se, there's just something to see. So how about you, Vicky? Do you know, what do you have to add to that? I'm sure you've got thing?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't got much to
No.
add to that. That was amazing, and I don't want to overdo this video because that's a lot for people to think about.
Yeah,
What
agree.
I would say is that the difference it made for me was one that it's just been huge. Just having an understanding. So what we will be sharing is this understanding of where our experience comes from effectively. And having that now means that although I still have, I can have the symptoms of IBS, I can have the experience of that. I understand how it's being created, I guess. And yeah, that has just made a huge difference. Before, it was everything I did was focused on the things that you mentioned at the beginning: diet and supplements and exercise, and everything that we know is beneficial, I guess, for our physical being. But it only got me so far. Like I had, I went on umpteen restricted diets. I took probiotics, prebiotics, medications, everything, and it went so far. But there was just a point where I couldn't get any further. The experience was still unpleasant, I guess. And understanding this has just transformed the way that I see that, I guess. And yeah, that for me, it's been the missing piece. And we don't want to go into too much detail because we want to keep these videos short. But yeah, this was the missing piece for me in my journey of IBS.
Yeah, it's funny because it kept coming to the missing link, which is one of Sid's really great books. But that for me, it does feel like the missing link. It's like definitely the same with me. When I look at different people that have followed the same, let's say the same diets and have the same lifestyles, etc., and yet they have different results. It's always like, well, what's the difference? And we've talked about this before, how I've gone after different therapies, different things to follow that other people have had amazing results, and it's like, well, what is the differentiator? What's the bit? And so for me, when I came across this, it's like, oh, this is the missing link. This is the thing that's invisible, that people that there's so much misunderstanding around how our psychology affects our physical. And more importantly for us is how there's a misunderstanding about our experience and the psychology, how it actually works, how it truly works. So
and misunderstandings about health,
which
that's fascinating too, isn't it?
We need to do it. We need to do a video on misunderstandings.
Or health, or a general misunderstanding. Okay, well let's put that one down then as another one to do. Okay.
So so Loving Your Gut is our next program, which we will be beginning on Valentine's Day.
We will.
February the 14th. Well, post details below this video, and we'd love to have you join us if you want to explore the inside out nature of gut health. We'll leave it there. Thanks. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.